Every day, millions of people struggle with mental health issues, but many never seek help. And not because they don't need it, but because of stigma. The fear of being judged, labeled, or misunderstood keeps them silent. But what happens when silence becomes suffering? And what does it mean for our society? Now, 60% delay seeking mental health treatment due to stigma. The average delay of seeking help is 11 years. And 75% of mental health conditions develop by the age of 24. Now, behind these statistics lies countless stories of silent suffering. Stories that raise a crucial question. In an era of unprecedented openness and scientific understanding, why do so many still choose to suffer alone? Let's talk about it. The history of mental health stigma is deeply rooted in fear and misunderstanding. From ancient civilizations to modern society, we've created countless barriers between those who need help and those who can provide it. What's most surprising isn't how these prejudices began, it's how stubbornly they persist in our supposedly enlightened age. When we look at the science, something remarkable becomes clear. Social rejection and stigma activate the same neural pathways as physical pain. Now, we're not just making it harder for people to seek help, we're literally causing measurable harm to their brains. The very fear of judgment can trigger the same stress responses that many mental health conditions already amplify. Now, in our digital age, stigma has found new ways to spread. Social media presents a carefully curated version of reality where everyone seems to be thriving, creating an impossible standard that makes those who are struggling feel even more isolated. The pressure to maintain this facade of perfection creates a new kind of prison, one built on likes, shares, and carefully filtered images. Now, in corporate America, the mask becomes even heavier. Picture an employee having a panic attack in the bathroom between meetings, a manager battling depression while trying to lead their team, a new hire afraid of disclosing their ADHD because the fear it will define their career. The cost isn't just personal. It's estimated that mental health stigma costs the global economy over $1 trillion annually in lost productivity. Even within our healthcare system, stigma creates devastating barriers. Mental health conditions are often treated as less legitimate than physical ailments. Insurance coverage is more limited. Wait times are longer. And the message is clear. Your mental health matters less than your physical health. And maybe most concerning is how early this stigma takes root. By the time a child reaches adolescence, they've already internalized powerful messages about mental health. They learn to hide their struggles, to be ashamed of their emotions, to see asking for help as a sign of weakness rather than wisdom. The impact of stigma varies across cultures, but its presence is universal. In some communities, mental health challenges are seen as character flaws. In others, they're viewed as spiritual failures. The words may be different, but the message is the same. Keep it hidden, keep it quiet, handle it alone. Now, around the world, communities are finding ways to break down these barriers. Workplaces are implementing mental health programs, schools are teaching emotional literacy, and families are having conversations that would have been unthinkable a generation ago. Now, the economic argument for change is clear. When we factor in lost productivity, increased healthcare costs, and reduced earning potential, the price of stigma becomes staggering. But the real cost can't be measured in dollars. It's measured in dreams deferred, potential unrealized, and lives just cut short. Now, this story of mental health stigma isn't over. In fact, we're just beginning to write a new chapter, one where seeking help isn't seen as weakness, but as wisdom, where mental health isn't whispered about, but discussed openly, where no one has to choose between their health and their dignity. Every time we share our stories, we chip away at centuries of stigma. Every honest conversation creates space for someone else to seek help. Every moment of understanding builds a bridge between isolation and connection. Now, the question isn't whether change is possible, it's whether we're brave enough to be a part of it. Because in the end, we all know someone struggling with mental health. We just might not know it yet. If you found this video informative and valuable, please give it a like, give it a share, comment your thoughts below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is Corey Dion Lewis. I'll holler at you next time.